What's up guys, this is Corey. Welcome to CNA Films and Animation. Today's Netflix movie review is of Lori Petty's The Poker House. So The Poker House stars Jennifer Lawrence, Chloe Grace Moretz, Selma Blair, and Sophie Bailey. And the film follows Jennifer Lawrence. She is a teenager, she's about 14 or so, and she lives in this household that her father was a pastor who was very abusive to her mother and the kids, and so the mother and the kids moved out. The mother's a drug addict and alcoholic and everything. She is a prostitute as well, and she has a black guy who comes around who is basically her pimp, and Jennifer Lawrence is the oldest daughter of three. Chloe Grace Moretz is the youngest, and Sophie Bailey is the middle child. And they're trying to find a way to kind of get out of this lifestyle. At the same time, they're trying to just kind of live their lives with their alcoholic and drug addict mother. The entire film is set in one day, and it chronicles mainly Jennifer Lawrence. She works for a newspaper studio, and she is she is kind of in love with her mother's pimp, but she doesn't want to become a prostitute and everything. She doesn't want to be like her mother, and unfortunate things happen, and this causes her to want to leave the household entirely. This film is based on a true story of Lori Petty's life. She was the director and the writer of this film, and there is some stuff that happens in this film that is very, very difficult to watch. This is kind of a little bit of a spoiler, but I kind of have to say it. So I'll have the word spoiler down below. So if you don't want to know, go ahead and mute it. But otherwise, go ahead and listen. It basically has to do with the major climax of the entire movie. So in this film, Jennifer Lawrence, so she's having this kind of crush on the black guy, and things get a little too far, and he rapes Jennifer Lawrence. And Jennifer Lawrence is traumatized and feels violated, and which is completely understandable. And then he basically goes off and hanging out with the mother, and then Jennifer Lawrence, she runs to the bathroom to try to cleanse herself, and her mother comes in drunk as ever, and basically tells her that she is always been kind of a nuisance to her. And so Jennifer Lawrence decides that she has enough of the entire family, and she more or less wants to kill the guy who raped her. And the mother says, "Kill me, not him." And that puts Jennifer Lawrence over the edge, and she leaves with her two sisters and never comes back. I did not know anything about this movie. Actually, I had never even heard of it, but I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw that Jennifer Lawrence and Chloe Grace Moretz were in this film, and that immediately sparked my interest to see it. And I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what the content of the film was going to be, or even what the film was going to be about. And I was rather shocked. It's a good movie, very good. It's just a very hard to watch movie. If you stayed with spoilers, then there are some things that happened that just were very difficult to watch. But the performances in this movie, especially from Jennifer Lawrence and Selma Blair, were fantastic. Jennifer Lawrence, she really carries the film, and at the climax of the movie, she really just gives it her all. And it's unfortunate that this movie was overlooked by a lot of award shows and everything, I mean, it is a smaller budget movie, and it is not necessarily like an Oscar type of film, but I think that she should have been recognized for her performance, especially at this young age. If you're ever scrolling through Netflix and you are interested in seeing it, I highly recommend it. I mean, like I said, it's a very difficult film to sit through, but if you give it a shot, you might appreciate it. I won't say that you'll like it because, like I said, it's difficult to watch. But, I definitely appreciate this film. I applaud Lori Petty for sharing this moment in her life with us. And, this is a pretty good film. I'm going to give The Poker House a 7.5 out of 10. So tell me, guys, have you seen The Poker House? If you have, what'd you think of it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What'd you think of the performances? What'd you think of the direction? What'd you think of the pacing of the film? I forgot to mention, the film's a little slow to start up, but about halfway through it really, gets going and becomes a very intriguing film. So what'd you think of the pacing? What'd you think of just everything about it? Comment below, let me know. Love to hear your feedback. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. Be sure to check out our other videos. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And as always, I'm Corey, and I'll see you guys in the next one.